So we thought we'd call our project Project Vanguard, just to sound a bit cool. But yeah, we're super excited to show you guys all what we've been working on. So my name's Delitha, by the way, and this is Lewis, and we're both going into fourth year next year at Monash. Cool, so the problem that we are trying to solve with our project is essentially based on our experience in third year in the hospital. We realize that sometimes doctors are humans as well, so of course they do sometimes miss certain topics during consultations with patients. Sometimes the documentation isn't thorough enough, and sometimes patients are simply just overwhelmed with a ton of information after their consults, especially if they're quite comorbid and there's lots of management medications they've got to be on, lots of follow-up stuff. So sometimes that's a bit too much information to take in all in one go. And this often leads to patients leaving the consultation without an actual clear direction in where to go and how to manage their condition in the best way. So the idea that we had is to essentially create a program that can do these four things. So one, record and transcribe a doctor-patient conversation. Two, provide the doctor with live suggestions during the consultation on points that they might want to cover and points that they might want to discuss. Number three, it has the capacity to generate a list of differentials as well based on that transcript. And four, create a summary at the end of the consultation for the patient to take home, which summarizes nicely everything in plain English, no medical jargon, so that the patient can refer back to it whenever they want. So the target audience, the main two are really the clinicians and the patient. So for the clinician, the benefits from our program is one, it creates those suggestions during the consult to avoid any missed points. Two, or the summary generation is really for the patient. Two, creates those differentials that they can refer to if they would like. And in terms of the patient, the benefit is that creation of the summary to take home. And the last one is sort of where we can go in the future. But when we show you guys all the tech demo, this product could also be used by medical students as well during their history taking practice, because it still generates those suggestions of points to cover. Cool. So in terms of the product, yeah, like I said, records the consultation, creates that audio transcription, creates live updating suggestions, differentials, and the summary.
All right, I'm just going to go through like what the program actually does, so when we look at the UI later, you guys can follow along as to what's happening in the background. So the inputs for this program would be an audio file, whether that's like a live recording of it listening to your consultation, or like we can provide it an audio file. And then it's going to go through a transcriber, which is just a whisper in this case that turns the audio file into text. And then it goes through GPT-4 with a background prompt saying like, hey, you're listening to a conversation between a patient and a doctor, and there might be family members. And then it's going to transcribe the transcription into a conversation whereby it says, doctor says this, patient says this, family member says this, and so on. And then a suggestion bot will get the conversation and provide you with the suggestions. And it's going to spit out around 5 suggestions. I think it's what we set it to. And then you have the option of ignoring the suggestions, which will just keep looping. If not, you can say, there's an X button next to it that can say, I do not want this suggestion. It will go back into the prompt, telling it, do not suggest this ever again. And then the 5 suggestions will not include that in the next cycle. And then at the end, because we have like a full conversation by the end of the consult, we can run it through a diagnostic bot that comes out with like a differential list. And at the end of the consultation, usually you guys will type out your notes, all right? We can put that in with the conversation, and the summary bot will generate a summary for the patient at the end. And then I think the next part will be the tech demo, which would make everything make more sense. All right, can you swap your screen?
So just click all displays. Yep.
Sure. Yeah, just a moment, everyone. Technical difficulties.
you're sharing screen in Zoom. Okay, yeah, that works.
Just give me access, James.
Pardon?
Give me access.
Can you share your screen on Zoom? You should
Yeah.
share your screen, not like
Yeah.
the application itself. So you
Yeah,
can type in.
if I have window.
Yeah. No, entire screen, not window.
Okay, perfect. Feel free to share.
Entire window with audio. Yeah. Share sound. Share. Okay, does it work? Okay, nice.
Set up?
Yep.
Yeah, easy.
Okay, I think he's just gonna run the program and show you the UI and buttons first.
Sorry, give us a sec. Why is it clear? Might do this first.
Wait, oh wait, you're not sharing the screen.
Yeah.
It died. Okay, it's back.
Alright, is that up? Okay.
Yeah.
Alright, we made it. So, sorry about that, everyone. So here's the app. So it's meant to sort of simulate the EMR, but it's black instead of white. So at the top, you can see the patient details, depending on the patient that you've selected. And then you have the start, stop recording, pretty self-explanatory what those two buttons do. You also have the option to upload an audio file if you've already recorded a consult and would like to input it into the system. And the orange boxes on the right-hand side is where those suggestions will be live generated. So when Lewis and I are demoing the product, so just keep an eye out over there for what's happening. The consult notes section, that's just like your normal spot to type your notes while you're talking to the patient. You can confirm notes, and then down the bottom is your differential list. If I just scroll down, this here is what generates that one-page summary for the patient to take home. So, looks like we're doing the demo.
Oh yeah, but we will need to stand up because the microphone will be there. Yeah.
Yeah, so Lewis and I will just have, we're going to demo like a quick history, 30 seconds or so. It'll be a bit awkward because we'll have to talk into my computer because that's where the mic is. Okay. Cool. Let me just double check it's working. I'll stop recording. Cool. All right. Hi there. My name is Dr. James. I'm one of the doctors here at the clinic. And just to make sure I'm speaking to the right patient, can I please grab your full name?
Hi, I'm Russell Smith.
Hey, Russell. And your age?
I'm 70 years old this year.
Okay. And are you currently working, Russell?
Nah, I'm retired.
Okay. And what did you used to work as?
I used to be a software engineer.
Okay. Lovely. So, Russell, what's actually brought you into the clinic today? What's been happening?
Yeah, so I've just been feeling really sick lately, and I'm starting to have some trouble breathing.
Oh, I see. Can you tell me a bit more about your symptoms?
Yeah, sure. So I've just been having this week of really bad coughs, and now I think it's getting worse, and I think I also have a fever with it.
Okay. And have you noticed any chest pain when you breathe or cough?
Yeah, I think it hurts a bit when I take really deep breaths and when I cough, yes.
Okay. And have you noticed anything sort of come up as well when you cough?
Just mainly a lot of mucus.
Okay. Any blood?
Nah, not that I could see.
Okay. And in terms of your mucus, what colour has it been?
It's just mainly yellowish green.
Okay, I see. And can you tell me a bit more about your shortness of breath?
Yeah, I think it started a few days after I started coughing, and it's just been getting worse ever since.
Okay, I see. If you had to compare this to sort of before you had this episode, how has that sort of progressed?
So I'm usually able to exercise without any problems, but now I'm just getting really short of breath even walking around the block or the neighborhood.
Okay, I see. And you also mentioned you had a fever, is that right?
Yep.
Yeah. Have you had any chills or night sweats?
No.
Okay. So Russell, I'm just going to move on to a couple of questions about your past medical history, if that's okay?
That sounds good.
Lovely. Do you have any history of any lung conditions? Maybe asthma, COPD?
Yeah, I do have asthma.
Okay, and do you take any medications for that?
Yeah, I take a Ventolin puffer that my GP gave me, and I've been taking a lot for the past week because of this, as you can imagine.
Okay, lovely. So we might stop there. Stop recording. Easy. And you can see on the side there, the suggestions have generated live. I'll just show you guys, if you want to discard something, let's say you don't want to talk about, I don't know, recent travel, right? So you just press the X button, that gets rid of that. And then if you'd like to refresh the suggestions, you just press this button and it takes a second and it generates a new one to replace it. And I'll also show you guys these files. So these files were empty before, you just have to believe me on that one. But now you can see it's created the entire transcript of the conversation. It knows that I'm Dr. James, it knows that the patient is Russell Smith, and it's created the entire transcript, start to finish. Cool. Now, the other thing Lewis and I are going to run through is a quick demo of a longer file. So just reset the app.
So we did like basically the same history, but like in 5 minutes it's up 2 minutes. So like it goes through all like the medical history. We can show you like the audio file of it.
It's the Russell one, yeah?
Yeah, the Russell one.
Open. So you can upload the file directly, and this is a bit of a longer clip. I'll just play it for you guys as well.
Hi there, my name's James. I'm one of the doctors here at the clinic.
I'm going to take really deep breaths and cough.
You mentioned that you mean.
Oh, okay. We'll make it quick. All right, so it's just processing this at the moment. It takes a bit of time because it's a long transcript. Just give it a sec. All right, there we go. The suggestions are generated. Now, the other thing we'll show you guys really quickly is, let's say you have your consult notes and you type this into the box, and you can see there's a lot of medical jargon there. Patient's not going to understand that, right? So once you press confirm notes, you can, actually I'll generate the differentials as well first. So this creates a list of differentials based on the transcript, and it thinks, yeah, pneumonia is probably likely here. Now we've confirmed the notes. Now when I generate the summary, so this is the patient to take home, it'll integrate the transcript and the notes that we've just inputted there and create a one-pager for Russell to take home and refer to whenever he'd like. Cool. Is that all it was?
Yeah.
Yeah, lovely. So I just
and then you could edit the summary if you want to, because obviously you want the power to like be able to edit the summary as a doctor. You can type in that field, and then you can save the changes before you print it out.
Cool. So just pass back to Lewis to just cover a couple more slides.
And it's back to the slides. Oh yeah. So now that you guys can see what it could do, let's talk about what it can't do, because I think that's just as important. So a lot of things that made us question what we are doing. So user interface development, those buttons took longer to make than the actual program itself. GPT sometimes outputs in like a format that doesn't work well with other programs, so like we need to format it into suggestions. Or GitHub is not very user friendly. We lost 2 hours of work at one point. Every time we fix one thing, 3 things break in the background. And now let's talk about what we could do in the future to make it better, right? So because this has no flaws, it's all about future development. So currently, if you go back to like the tech stack, all of this is running on Whisper. This is all running on GPT-4. So everything is really reliant on OpenAI right now. So like, could we do this on Llama or like a medical specific model to run it locally? Because let's say something happens like last Wednesday, whereby the API key dies, it will just not work anymore. And plus, it's actually quite expensive to run it constantly. If you think about it, we are running inference every 30 seconds to get like the transcript for the live updating. And we estimate like each console is going to cost like 30-40 cents right now, which might be quite a bit if you think about like a whole hospital running it. And also some privacy concerns, because everything you put into ChatGPT obviously goes to OpenAI, and from what I understand, they train on everything you type in. So yeah, and for the prompts, like the background instruction, we could think about like department or clinic specific things that we could put in for like pre-admissions. Maybe they have like a checklist of things to go through that it could prompt you that if you forgot one of them. We could customize each prompt for each clinician if they want to, like this clinician wants X, Y, or Z. And we can also currently, like, it's pulling information like the patient is Russell Smith from the conversation, right? But like if you have follow-ups, the doctor might not get introduced to the patient again. The model does not have the ability to like pull from EMR like this patient is Russell Smith at the moment. So is that a way of making it talk to EMR and get the patient information? Maybe that'll make it better. So those are all the future development stuff. So any questions?
All right, we might leave questions to the end because Jeremy Howard's just entered.
Oh.
Please help me to thank this team.